So this will be a good opportunity for you, the viewer, to see if this is something that you want to consider, or if you want to go newer or go to a totally different brand. Hey, welcome back to GT Canada. I bought the cheapest Mercedes supercar that you can buy in Canada and probably all of North America, and I want to show you all about it. Now, the first thing that you're probably already saying is, Anton, that's not a supercar. That's a Mercedes SUV. That's where you would be wrong. You see, this SUV has the Mercedes 5.5 liter V8 motor, which produces just over 400 horsepower and about 450 foot-pounds of torque. It's also all-wheel drive, which means I have no problem putting all that power to the ground. If you're still not convinced that this is a supercar, let me tell you about some of the cars that this will run with. Now, when we're talking about run with, I'm talking about 0 to 60 times. Why do I care about 0 to 60 and not quarter-mile times? Well, the answer is actually quite simple. See, when you're racing or driving spiritedly down the street on regular roads, we're talking about 0 to 60 to time. That's light to light to light. It is very rare for somebody who's just driving around having fun to exceed 60 miles an hour. So the time it takes for you to get from 0 to 60, that's the fun zone. That's the time where you get excited, where your heart starts beating fast. And let's face it, when you're racing a guy off the light to prove who's fastest, you're not even going to make it to 60 miles an hour before a winner is clearly decided. So let me tell you about some of the cars that this one will give a run for its money. BMW Z3 and Z4 Roadster. This will beat both of those. A Caterham 7 270R. That's a purpose-built car for fun and performance. You can pick just about any Corvette or Camaro, and this will beat it in any year, any generation. The older you get, the faster this will beat those. Even the new ones, this will beat it. What about a Chrysler Crossfire or a Dodge Challenger? Yeah, this beats that too. What about a Nissan GT-R R34? This beats it. And it's got the all-wheel drive still, so it's got no traction issues. It just takes off and goes. Now, I know I told you that this is a supercar, and I haven't listed any supercars. So what about supercars? Well, how about a Hennessy Ford F-150 Velociraptor? Those things are crazy fast. Well, guess what? This beats it too. What about a Lamborghini Countach? Yeah, it's older, but it is a supercar, and this will beat that. Now, it might struggle with some of the newer supercars. It also holds its own against Tesla. Yes, Tesla. The ones that you see the videos of them drag racing everybody and destroying them. This will go up against an X and S and win depending on the model, but it'll still beat a Tesla. So now that we got that out of the way, we've established that this is actually a supercar. Why do I love it so much, and why did I buy it? This is, as we already discussed, this is a performance-oriented SUV. It has all the creature comforts inside, leather interior, all the options, power seats, cruise control, GPS system, backup camera. It's got all that. Interior DVD system, it's got that too. It's got all-wheel drive for extra safety in the winters here in Canada. It's got an amazing traction control system, and this particular one also came with the adaptive suspension, which means I've got a sport mode, a comfort mode, and a regular mode. It's got an air ride, so I can jack it up or lower it down. It's got hill descent mode. It's got all the features that you expect on a luxury SUV, and it was a budget price. So before I bought this, we were looking at Acura MDX, Volvo SUVs. We were looking at, something Honda or something maybe German. And I told my wife, this is my wife's car, and I said, why don't we look for something a little bit fancier? Let's look at a Mercedes. And she's like, ooh, I don't know about Mercedes. They've got a bad name for themselves as far as when they get old, they start to break and whatever. So we decided we'd take a chance. So I found this, which was the cheapest ML 550 that I could get in my province of Alberta, but also it was the cheapest I could find in Western Canada. Does that make it a bad car? Well, I don't know. I'm not a mechanic. I just play one on YouTube. So I did take this to the real mechanic. I'm going to read you their mechanic report. I'm not like some of the other YouTubers where I've got a mechanic that I can just drive it to. So I just looked up a local mechanic and said, look, I want to do a pre-purchase inspection on this car. I already bought it. I didn't care what was wrong with it, but I did want some peace of mind. So here are the things that the mechanic found wrong with this car at the time of purchase. Cracked windshield. So it does have a cracked windshield. I noticed that. The tires are summer tires. So they were summer tires. I actually got winter tires on this now, and if you've seen my more recent video, I did comparing my winter tires to all season tires just to see what the performance difference is on those. So the summer tires have been put away for the summer. They'll go back on once the winter's over. The front air suspension. The front air suspension. So again, when I went to buy this car, they say, and this is a tip for anyone that's watching this, considering any Mercedes, they say do not buy it if it's been running before you got there. And the reason for that is, one of the ways to tell if there's a problem with your air suspension is overnight the air will seep out of the suspension and it'll sit down on the ground. If a person trying to sell the car knows this, they know that starting the car before you come will make the suspension fill back up with air, and it takes a long time for the air to leak out. When I got there, it was cold and it was sitting a little bit lower than what I expected it to. I did talk to the seller and I asked him, hey, does this sit on the ground by the morning? He said, yeah, it probably would. Sometimes it doesn't, but usually it does. So I knew that something was up with that. So the mechanic just confirmed that there is a leak in the suspension system somewhere, which I have to get further diagnosed. So this could be an expensive repair. They've quoted me $3,000 for the repair of this, but that's based on not knowing exactly where that leak is, and it could have costly parts that need to be replaced. Other things, the rear lift gate, so it's got a power lift gate, is non-functional, and that's really it. For a car that was so cheap, I've got almost $5,000 worth of repairs once they put the tires, the suspension, whatever, into fixing this. Now, I'm not going to actually pay them to fix it because, like I said, I am a YouTube mechanic and I know how to do everything. So I'm going to do these repairs myself and save a lot of money so that I can keep this car on the road without dumping a lot of cash into it. The same as I would if I was buying that Acura MDX I talked about, or the Volvo. One of the other things I really like about this is that it's actually a pretty car to look at, especially for a lady. My wife likes how it looks. She likes the roundy things. Personally, I prefer my car to be a lot more boxy than what this is, but it's a good looking car. And if you are looking for a performance-oriented car that's inexpensive but has a lot of power and is extremely easy to find for cheap, consider this. This one had 197,000 kilometers on it. I don't know what that is in miles. I'll do the conversion in the video. Once these cars get over 200,000, the price does start to drop. Once they hit 300, the price drops even more because German cars have a name or a reputation for being costly to maintain once they get outside of warranty, and especially once the miles start to pile up on those cars. So this is going to be a long-term test. Like I said, this is my wife's car. She's going to drive this to work and back every day for the next year, and then I'm going to report back on how those repairs went that I talked about it requiring, and if any new repairs came up in the process. So this will be a good opportunity for you, the viewer, to see if this is something that you want to consider, or if you want to go newer or go to a totally different brand. The nice thing is, this thing, it is exciting to drive. When you step on the gas pedal, this thing drops the gear and it goes. It goes fast and it pulls hard. And it'll do that all day, every day, reliably. This is a very reliable engine, 5.5 liter. It's a huge engine for the size of the car that it's in, which makes for a really great ratio as far as horsepower to weight goes, which means a lot more excitement for you as a driver's car. If you're looking for a driver's car, this might be the car for you. Let me pause real quick here. If you like this video and you like the content that we're putting out, I encourage you to subscribe down below and like this video. Bump this up so that others can find it too. It really helps us out, and it allows us to put out more content for you, the user. I'm really counting on you guys. If you like this, send that message. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe. Let's send this message to YouTube so that more people can find this and I can do more videos like this. I've got a lot more in store, more vehicles that I'm looking at purchasing and doing videos just like this on, just to give you a rundown of, you know, these cars that are actually quite affordable. Are they for you? Are they for the everyday person? I got another great video that's coming up soon. You're not going to want to miss that, so hit that bell so you don't miss it. So I hope you found this video useful and you enjoyed looking at my new ML550. While you're waiting for the next video to come out, check out some of the other videos over here. We got a lot of great content in our back library. We'd love to see you again, but until next time, have a great day.